Okay, welcome back, grade 12 seniors. This is the last video in this year, and I hope my videos were beneficial for you. In this video, I'm going to explain for you only the end of year required material for ATHS schools. So this is for grade 12 advanced students studying in applied technology high schools. This video includes all the requirements for term 3 material. I will be doing another video for the term 1, and I will be doing another video for term 1 end of year required material. Okay, so this video will be long because it will include all the lessons from term 3 in the end of year exam. Okay, now notice that not all the KPIs that I've mentioned in my previous videos are required. Like here, we will start from KPI number 4, and then 5, 6, 7 is not required, and then 8 and 9. So don't worry, I filtered only what is required, and I'm going to speak about it in this video. Okay, if you want, pause the video and go through these KPIs, read them in order to understand what is required. So as you know, this is lesson 1. First thing you need to know is the different models for representing the hydrocarbon. Okay, hydrocarbons are compounds made of carbon and hydrogen only. They can be represented in 4 different ways. Number 1 is the molecular formula. Number 2 is the structural formula where we draw. Number 3 is called the ball and stick. And number 4 is the space filling model. Okay, now what I want from you, I want you, this is 1 carbon, this is 2 carbon. Try to practice drawing a 3 carbon hydrocarbon. Okay, when we say 3 carbon, this one will need 3 H's. I can either put bond H, bond H, bond H, or simply I can say H3. Okay, now this one have 2 bonds, so it needs 2 hydrogens. This one have 1 bond, so it needs 3 hydrogens. Okay, so this is called the structural. Structural means the drawing. Now, if I want to do the molecular formula, I need to count the C's and the H's. How many C's do I have? I have 3 C's and the H's are 8. Now, if I want to do my ball and stick model, the carbons will be represented by black balls, 1, 2, 3. And then I will have the hydrogens. I will draw them in purple. This is 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2. And this is 1, 2, 3. Now the ball and stick model is the same as this model, but without the sticks. So it will be 1, 2, 3, and then you will have the hydrogens and the hydrogens and the hydrogen. So there are 4 different ways to represent any hydrocarbon. Now, what's the difference between saturated and unsaturated? As we said previously, saturated hydrocarbons have C single bond C, and unsaturated hydrocarbons could have C double bond C or C triple bond C. Okay, طيب هلا here in this bond, how many electrons are shared? 2 electrons. Okay, so either you can say 2 electrons shared or 1 pair. Now here in the double bond, how many electrons? كل bond عبارة عن 2 electrons, one in the beginning, one at the end. So we either can say it has 4 electrons or 2 pairs are shared between the C and the C. Now here we have 3 pairs or 6 electrons. Okay, type. Now the other KPI, which of the following represents a saturated? Saturated means it should have a single bond with the 3 carbon atoms. So you will have 3 carbons. طبعا this one is wrong because it has a double bond. This one is correct. Okay, now this one, this is not the structural formula. This is the molecular formula. This is the structural formula. So this is wrong. This one also have a double bond, so this is wrong. And this one is, this is called the ball and stick, and this is the structural. So this one should be here, this one should be here, okay? طيب هلا C triple bond C is saturated or unsaturated. طبعا it is unsaturated because it contains, this is triple bond. So the answer will be C. Okay, now we have three types of hydrocarbons. The 3 types of hydrocarbons are alkanes and alkenes and alkynes. And here I want you to pay attention for the spelling. This one is A, this one is E, and this one is Y. As you know, alkanes, they have C single bond C. Alkenes, they have C double bond C. And alkynes have C triple bond C. Okay, now the general formula here is CnH2n plus 2, CnH2n, and CnH2n minus 2, where n could be any number. Let's say if n equals 1, let's put here in this formula n equal 1, so the formula will be C1H, 2 times 1 is 2 plus 2, this is CH4. Now put 1 here, this is C1H2. C1H2 means 1 carbon and 2 H's. This does not exist because you know every C should have 4 hydrogens around it. Now let's do this. This will be C1H, 2 times 1 minus 2H, 0. Also, this one does not exist. For n equal 1, we have only alkanes. Okay, now for n equals 2, you can put 2 here in this formula. The formula will be C2H, 2 times 2 plus 2, this is 6. This is C2H4, and this is C2H2. Okay, you can put any number for n. For example, if n equals 3, you can say C3H, 2 times 3, 6, plus 2, this is 8. This will be C3H6. This one will be C3H4. Okay, if you were asked to draw the structure, C3H8, simply we will draw 3 C's. Now I have 8 H's. This is 3, and this is 2, and this is 3. 3 plus 2 plus 3, this is 8. Now, how do I draw the structure of this? I would put 3 C's, and one of the bonds will be double. Now I have H6. This is 3, this is 1, and this is 2. Okay, 2 plus 1 plus 3, this is 6. Now this one, C3H4, I will put 3 C's. One of the bonds will be triple. This will be CH3. This one have already 4 bonds, so no need for H's, and this one needs 1 H. 1 plus 3, this is 4. Okay, this is alkane. This is saturated. This is alkene. This is unsaturated, and this is alkyne. This is also unsaturated. Okay, right, next. Okay, now let's do this practice. Pause the video and answer the questions, and then check your answers. Which of the following, use the organic compounds X, Y, and Z to answer. Which one is a hydrocarbon? Remember, hydrocarbons are made of C and H only. Okay, this one have oxygen, so this is not a hydrocarbon. This one have C and H only, so it is a hydrocarbon, and this one is a hydrocarbon. Now, if I ask you, is this hydrocarbon an alkane or alkene or alkyne? How will you know? طبعا C4H10. 10 is 4 times 2 plus 2. So this is an alkane. So it's not alkene, it is not alkyne, so this is an alkane. If we want to draw this one, it will be C4. Now H10, this is 3, this is 2, and this is 2, and this is 3, so this is C4H10. Which one is saturated? طبعا هاي فيها double bond, it's unsaturated, so Y is saturated. Which one is unsaturated? This is Z. Okay, now the properties of all organic compounds, they all have low melting points. Polar طبعا غلط because they are non-polar. They are not soluble, they are insoluble. You will notice that all properties are no. They are non-conductors. Okay, they can be solid, liquid, and gas, yes. Type. Okay, now let's do the next question. Also pause the video and answer. Which one is a hydrocarbon? طبعا all of them. Which one is saturated? Means having single bonds only. This is Q. Unsaturated is R and S. Okay, now describe the process used to separate petroleum compounds and explain the physical property used in this process. كتير مهم تحفظوا اسم البروسيس. The process is called fractional distillation. Okay, now what physical property is used? The difference in boiling point. Okay, how is this process occur? How does this process occur? We take the crude oil or the petrol and we heat it. When we heat the petrol, the fraction that reaches its boiling point will evaporate and will be collected here in this column. So all this process is called fractional distillation. Okay, why do we use it? You know that crude oil is a mixture of many hydrocarbons. Okay, I want to separate each hydrocarbon alone. How do I do it? I do it by a process called fractional distillation. I boil the crude oil. أول واحد reaches its boiling point will go here, it will be collected. So the first one boils at 40 degrees Celsius. This is the gas that we use it for cooking. The second fraction is gasoline, and this is used for cars. The third one is kerosene, and this is used for planes. Diesel is used for trucks. Fuel oil is used for ships. And the rest is used for streets. You might get the uses of these or the names of these, so please be careful. The first fraction is used for cooking, and then cars, planes, trucks, ships, and streets. لاحظوا إنه the crude oil was a mix of all these together. It was a mixture. We cannot use it. We have to boil it, separate it into fractions. That's why the process is called fractional distillation. This is taken from the word fraction. Fraction. I separate the crude oil into fractions. Okay, طيب. Which one of these compounds contains the least number of carbons? This one. This one is carbon 1, 2, 4. Okay, small chains. Okay, 5 to 10, they are used for gasoline. And 10 to 12 to 18 is used for kerosene, and more than 18, these are used for other things. Okay, so the small carbon chains are used for cooking, and then the next one is used for cars, next will be used for planes. Okay, but how do the questions come to you in the exam? You have this process. One of the questions will be, what do you call this process? This process is called fractional distillation. What do we do in this process? We take crude oil, we heat it, and then we separate it into fractions. Okay, which fraction will be collected first? This one, because this one have the least boiling point, and it is the lightest. أخف واحد. This one will have the highest boiling point, and this one will be the heaviest. Okay, sometimes they ask you about the temperature of the column. Here the temperature is 400, and here the temperature is 40. So at the bottom it is hot, and at the top it is cold. Which of the following fractions tend to be solids and used for roads? طبعا V. Fraction Q tend to be a gas and used for cooking. Okay. طيب. The refining process of petroleum starts with the distillation of petroleum into fractions according to, طبعا how do they separate? According to their boiling point. The process used to separate petroleum is called fractional distillation. Okay, let's do another question. Also, this process is called fractional distillation. This fraction is used for cooking. This fraction is used for cars. This one is used for planes. This one is used for trucks. This one is used for ships. And this one is used for streets. Now, identify the fraction that best fit each of the following uses. Fuel. Fuel is used for, okay, let me show you, because here sometimes they have different names. The fuel oil is the one that is used for ships. Okay. Okay, so the fuel is the one used for ships. This is fuel. Okay, so the fraction that is a fuel R. For roads, we use M. Which fraction will be separated first? طبعا O. Why? Because it has the least boiling point. Okay, next. Now, crude oil is composed of hydrocarbons and other compounds. There's three elements found in different compounds. In crude oil, we can find C, we can find H, we can find O. Name process Q, طبعا it is called the fractional distillation. Physical property used is the boiling point. Now, properties of organic compounds, كل إشي لا, they are non-polar. They are insoluble in water. and they are bad conductors. Okay, type. Now, yellow fraction from 1 to 4 carbon atoms. This is the first fraction collected. Remember, this is gas and we use it for cooking. Now 5 to 10, this is the second fraction collected. This is gasoline and we use it for cars. 12 to 18, this is the, I think this is the last fraction collected and it is used for ships and for trucks. لاحظوا انه هون في fraction missing اللي هو 10 to 12. هذا is used for kerosene for planes. Okay, now which one represents a hydrocarbon? Also pause the video and try to answer this question. طبعا this one K is a hydrocarbon, L is a hydrocarbon, this is alkene, this is alkyne, and this is alkane. This is also alkane, but this one have oxygen, so it's not a hydrocarbon. So which one is hydrocarbon? You will say K, L, M, N. Type. Which one is saturated? Saturated means it has only single bonds, N and M. Name a natural source for compounds M and N. So where do we get them in nature? طبعا من البترول. Or you can say from crude oil. Okay, name the process used to separate them. This is called fractional distillation. Okay, notice that these questions are from last year exams, so be careful for them. Now let's do this question. Which of the above compounds is unsaturated, means having double bond? It is X. Why? Because it has triple bond. Which is not a hydrocarbon? طبعا Z. Why? Because it has a halogen. How many electrons are shared between this one and this one? طبعا you can say 6 electrons or 3 pairs of electrons. Okay, next. Is this compound alkane or alkene or alkyne? Justify your answer. طبعا بما انه فيها double bond, I will say it is an alkene. Give the IUPAC name of this compound. طبعا this is confusing, so what I will do, I will make it simpler. I will say this is CH3. بعدين عندنا هون CH2, CH, CH2, CH3. بعدين عندنا هون CH2. بعدين CH, double bond CH2. Okay, how do we name this alkene? طبعا أول إشي we will do the parent chain. The parent chain has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons, so I will say hex. فيها double bond, so I will say ene. Where is my double bond? It is at carbon number 1. Now I have a branch. Where is my branch? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, so number 4, I have ethyl. So the name is 4-ethyl 1-hexene. Very important point. Don't count double bond from here. When you come to the branch, you count from here. 1, 2, 3. You say my branch is at 3. This is wrong. We count from here, so everything will be counted from this side. Okay, the priority is for the double bond. So double bond is at number 1. We continue the branches from the same side. How many single bonds and how many double bonds? We have 1 double bond and the single bond is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 22. So we have 22 single bonds. Okay, now we are done with lesson 1. I will start with lesson 2. Okay. Now in lesson 2, you need to know all these things. How do you name alkanes? Straight, branched, non-substituted, cycloalkanes, and you need to know the prefixes. Okay. Now, first of all, I want you to memorize these prefixes. These prefixes are used when we name the alkanes. Meth is 1, eth is 2, prop 3, but 4, 5, pent 6. If you don't memorize this, you will not be able to do well in your exam. Okay, so memorize these prefixes. This will help you to know the names. Okay, I will not go through this because this is easy. Now what I want you to do, I want you to draw the structure of butane. When we say but is 4 carbons and ane means single bond. So I will draw 4 carbons and between them single bonds. Now I will say this is 3, this is 2, and this is 2, and this is 3. So the formula will be C4H, 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3, this is C4H10. Okay, now next. Okay, these are called branches. Sometimes we have meth, we have eth, we have prop. Okay, these are called the branches. Later on, I will explain for you the branches. Now, regarding the alkanes, we have 3 types of alkanes. We have the straight alkanes, and we have the branched alkanes, and we have the cycloalkanes. Now, whenever I say straight, you will see 1, 2, 3, مثلا. Okay, this is 3, this is 2, this is 3, this is straight. Now branched, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4, وعندنا branch. Cyclo means you will see it like this, closed shape. Okay, so there are 3 different types of alkanes. Now, how do we name each one? Yalla, try to think of ways of naming them. As we said previously, we will name the parent, and then we will see where is the branch, and we will name the branch. At carbon number 2, I have methyl. And then the parent is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is hexane. Now here, this is the parent chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is pentane. And I have at number 3, methyl. Okay, similarly here, this is the parent. If you want, you can compress it. Instead of saying CHHH, you can say CH3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is hexane. I have a branch at number 2, which is methyl. And I have a branch at 3, 4, 5, also methyl. I can combine these two to say 2,5-dimethyl, and then I would say hexane. Okay, now this one, this is the parent chain. It has CH3, CH3, وعندنا branch من هون وعندنا branch من هون. Okay, so this is the parent chain. Its name is propane. And this is a branch at 2 and again branch at 2. So I will say 2,2-dimethyl propane. Okay, and this one also, this is the parent chain. This is 5 carbons. Okay, so this is pentane. And here I have at 2 methyl, and at 3 I have also methyl. I can combine these two to say 2,3-dimethyl pentane. Okay, type. So this is the branched alkane. Now what if we have a cyclic alkane? Okay, take few minutes to solve this question. Be careful, if you get the structure vertical, it's very easy. This is the parent, this is the branch, this is the branch. Okay, now here, this is the parent, and this is the branch. This one have no branches, this is straight. Okay, here if you get this structure, combine it. This will be CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH, CH3, CH3. Now this is the parent. Okay, and these two are branches. Pause the video and try to name them. Okay, now next. Okay, what is a cycloalkane? Cycloalkane means it has a ring structure. طبعا, can I make a cyclic shape with 1 carbon? No. Can I make it with 2 carbons? No. Can I make it with 3 carbons? Yes. It will look like this. It will be like this. And then you will say CH2, 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 or simply you can say like this without any C's. Okay, what about C equal 4? It will be a square. C equal 5, it will be like a house. C equals 6, it will be like the hexagon. Okay, so this is a cycloalkane. Now, how do we name the cycloalkanes? Also, spare a few minutes to name them. This is 5, so this is cyclopentane. Okay, I have this branch 1 2. لاحظوا انه بالcyclic shape you don't have terminals, you don't have أطراف. Okay, so I will say at 1 I have methyl. Okay, make this one straight, don't make it bend. And at 2 I have methyl. I can combine these two to say 1 2 dimethyl. Okay, I can say 1 2 dimethyl cyclopentane. Okay, now this one is cyclohexane. At 1 I have methyl, and this is 2, this is 3. At 3 I have ethyl. Okay, now similarly this one. لاحظوا هون the branches are the same, so I will combine them. I will say 1 2 4. How many methyls I have? Trimethyl. And then I will say cyclohexane. Okay, now this one is cyclopropane, 1 2 dimethyl cyclopropane. Okay, this one is cyclopentane. At 1 I have methyl, and at 3 I have ethyl. I know that this is ethyl because it has 2 carbons. Okay, be careful. 2 carbons means F. And in the branches, we use while, okay? 1 methyl, 3 ethyl, and then I will say cyclopentane. Now this one is cyclobutane. Okay, I have 1 propyl. This is 2, 3 methyl. Okay, this one is not required because this is a very big cyclic shape. اوكي طيب يلا draw the structural formulas of the following compounds. لاحظوا انه هذا straight وهدول branched. Okay, pause the video and use these prefixes if you want. Hept means 7 carbons and ane means single bond. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. حطوا ال H's and find the molecular formula by yourself. Now 2 methyl hexane. Hexane is 6 carbons. And at number 2 I have meth يعني 1 carbon. Okay, فيكم تعتبروا this side is 2, فيكم تعتبروا this side is 2. Put the H's. Okay, don't forget this is H, this is H3, H2, 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 H3. Also for this one put the H's. I'm not going to put them, you do it by yourselves. Okay, now let's see C. C have 2 branches. The parent is pentane. Pentane means 5 carbons. 1 2 3 4 5. I have branch at number 2 and I have branch at number 3. Dimethyl. Meth is 1 carbon, so 2 carbons. Put the H's. Now this one is 2 2 dimethyl propane. Prop is 3 carbons. And at 2 and at 2 I have dimethyl. لما نفس الرقم يتكرر put 1 above and 1 below. Okay, and put the H's. Yalla, these are cyclic shapes. Also try to name them. Okay, A is if you don't understand, you can go back to my videos and learn the lesson in details, okay? Okay, this one is not required. Okay, now we are done with lesson 2. Now let me see what do you need to know in lesson 3. Okay, in lesson 3, let me just check that this is all required. Okay, in lesson 3, you need to know two things only. You need to know how to differentiate among the physical properties of alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes in terms of polarity, solubility, boiling point, and the reactivity. Okay, so the two things that you need to know: alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. When they ask you polarity, كلهم non-polar. Solubility in water, كلهم insoluble in water. Now the melting point. Alkanes have the least melting point. Okay, alkenes have medium melting points and alkynes have high melting points. Okay, ليش؟ بسبب وجود التريبل بوند. هون بسبب وجود الدبل بوند والالكينز سنجل بوند. لاحظوا انه البولاريتي is the same for everybody. Everybody is non-polar. Everybody is insoluble in water. Now when we speak about the melting point, السنجل بوند عندهم least melting point, الدبل بوند عندهم medium melting point, التريبل بوند عندهم high melting point. Okay, similarly when we speak about the reactivity, alkanes are unreactive. Okay, alkenes have medium reactivity. Okay, and alkynes have the highest reactivity. Okay, so reactivity والmelting point غير بس polarity والsolubility in water they are the same. Okay, now let me show you what you need to know in lesson 4. In lesson 4 you only need to know how to define the term isomers. So we said previously what are isomers. Isomers, if you look at these two, what is the formula of this? C4H10. And what is the formula of this? Also C4H10. So what are structural isomers? Isomers, they have the same molecular formula, but different structures. Okay, and if they have different structures, they will have different properties, they have different uses, everything will be different properties. Okay, only the molecular formula is the same. Okay, structural isomers have same molecular formula, they have different properties, different chemical properties, different arrangement of atoms. Okay, so this is all what you need to know in lesson 5. Now, lesson 5, sorry, is cancelled. Now we will go to lesson 6. In lesson 6, you need to know these two KPIs. The first KPI is about the general formula of all the functional groups, and the second one is alkyl halides and aryl halides. Okay, طيب. Now let's start with the functional group. Okay, I will pause the video and I will do for you this in a separate video. Okay. Okay, assalamu alaikum, grade 12. Hope you are doing well. I'm so sorry for being late to download lesson 7 in term 3 material, but inshallah I am here. Okay, so today's lesson, the title is alkyl halides and aryl halides. But as you will notice, in this lesson, there are two main objectives. Number 1 and number 2, they are a little bit tough. I want you to listen carefully when I am explaining them. Starting from objective number 3, we will start with the main topic, which is alkyl halides and aryl halides. Okay, so I will not be talking about alkyl halides and aryl halides till I finish KPI number 1 and KPI number 2. Okay. Now, before I start explaining what is KPI number 1 and KPI number 2, I want you to look at these 5 compounds and decide, can we say that these are hydrocarbons? From the definition of hydrocarbons, as you remember, we said hydrocarbons are compounds that are made of hydrogen and carbon only. Okay, now this one is made of carbon and hydrogen, but added to it is oxygen. Okay, this one also have oxygen. This one have 2 oxygens. This one also have oxygen, and this one have nitrogen added to the carbon and hydrogen. So these are not hydrocarbons. Okay, what do we call these compounds? Now, first of all, I want you to highlight for me what is the addition that makes them not hydrocarbons. Like this one, C4, and these are the H's, this is normal, but here we added to it OH. Okay, if you look at this structure, what do we have extra? We have CH from here, CH from here. This is the added part, C double bond O. Okay, this one is C and H. This one is the added part. Okay, now this one is CH. This one is the added part. And also here we have C and H, and this is the added part. Now the parts that I highlighted are called functional groups. So what is a functional group? A functional group could be one atom like here, or like here, or could be a group of atoms. Group of atoms means more than one atom. Here it is 2 atoms. Here it is nitrogen and hydrogen, 3 atoms. Here it is oxygen and hydrogen. So functional group is either one atom or a group of atoms. Type. Do they change the properties of the hydrocarbon? Yes, they change the hydrocarbon, they change the name, and they change the properties. So functional group is an atom or a group of atoms that always react in a certain way in an organic molecule. We are still doing organic because we are speaking about carbon compounds, and we said any compound that has carbon means it is organic. Okay, hello. First of all, I want you to identify for me the functional group. In Q, the functional group is OH. In R, the functional group is C double bond O. In S, the functional group is C double bond O and OH. Okay? Yalla. In T, the functional group is NHH, or I can say NH2. And in U, the functional group is oxygen. Okay? Now, if I say for you, what is the molecular formula of each of these compounds? As usual, the molecular formula, we start with the C, and then with the H, and then anything extra. Here we have 4 carbons. Okay, we count the hydrogens. We have 4 and 4 are 8, and this one is 9, this one is 10. And what else do I have? I have oxygen, so I put it at the end. Now R, 3 Cs, so this is C3, H6O. Okay, here C2H, 4, O and O. انتبهوا, we have 2 oxygens, so I will say O2. Okay, now T is C2H, 2 and 2 and 2, this is 6, 7, and then we have nitrogen. Okay, here we have C4H, 5 and 5, this is 10, and then we have oxygen. So whenever we do the molecular formula, we start by carbon and then hydrogen, and then anything extra, we put it at the end. Okay, now we finished with the functional group. Now again, I will tell you, pick for me from these which ones are hydrocarbons. You will notice that this one is only made of carbon and hydrogen, so this is a hydrocarbon. This one have nitrogen extra, so this is not hydrocarbon. This one is also a hydrocarbon. This one have CO, not hydrocarbon. CO, not hydrocarbon. This one CH, yes, hydrocarbon. Okay, this one OH, it's not a hydrocarbon. Also here OH, not hydrocarbon. Nitrogen and OH. Okay, so the ones that represent hydrocarbons are L and M and P. Let's remember, what do we call a hydrocarbon that have a triple bond? We call it alkyne. What do we call a hydrocarbon that have single bonds? We call it alkane. What do we call a hydrocarbon that have double bond? We call it alkene. Okay, اتذكروا بدرس الالكين we said if the double bond have hydrogens on the same side, we say this is cis isomer. Okay, طيب إذن I know the families of these. So what is the family of this? What is the family of N? What is the family of O? Let me show you all the families that you will have in your lesson. The first family is the alkane. Alkane means C single bond. The second one is alkene, having a double bond. And the third one is alkyne, having a triple bond. And number 4 is aromatic, which has a benzene ring, which is C6H 6. إحنا لغاية هون we already covered in the previous lessons. Now let's look at the new ones. This one is called aldehyde. This one is called ketone. This one is called alcohol. This one is called ether. This one is called carboxylic acid. This one is called amine. This one is ester, and this one is amide. طيب, what does each one of them have? How will I know this is an aldehyde? Okay. طيب, let's see. Aldehyde have C double bond O, but also ketone have C double bond O. والcarboxylic acid فيها C double bond O. والاستر فيها C double bond O. والامide فيها C double bond O. اوكي لاحظوا انه هون O بس هون OH وهون nitrogen. So these 5 compounds have C double bond O. How will I differentiate between them? Notice that here we have C double bond O, and from this side we have R, and from this side we have H. شو يعني R? R mean rest of carbon chain. شو يعني rest of carbon chain؟ يعني ممكن تكون هون CH3 اوكي، او ممكن تكون CH2 CH3، او ممكن تكون CH2 CH2 CH3. المهم انه عندنا هون carbon chain. So whenever you see R, this means there is a carbon chain. اوكي طيب لاحظوا انه بالالديهايد we have C from here and we have H from here. هلا هون we have C double bond O R R. شو يعني R R؟ يعني we have C from the right and C from the left. Okay, so this is the way to differentiate between aldehyde and ketone. Ketone we have O in the middle of the chain. نفس هاي الword. شوفوا وين حرف ال O is in the middle of the word. So you have O double bond O, and you have carbon from the right and carbon from the left. Okay, now aldehyde, the C double bond O is at the end. Here there is H, no C. طيب هلا هاي, how will I differentiate between this one and this one? This one have C double bond O and H, but هون في عنا OH. This is not, this one is only H, this one is OH. انتبهوا. If it is CO and OH, I call it carboxylic acid. Okay? Again, if it has C double bond O and H, I call it aldehyde. C double bond O in the middle of the chain, I call it ketone. C double bond O and OH, I call it carboxylic acid. Okay? طب خلينا نشوف هاي. هاي فيها C double bond O and O, but here R. شو يعني R؟ يعني هون also carbon chain وهون carbon chain. Okay, this one was OH, this one is O carbon chain. So this is called ester. Now here I have C double bond O مع nitrogen, this is called amide. اوكي طيب how is the alcohol؟ الكحول كثير سهله، حتشوفوا فيها OH. شو شايفين؟ الالكحول فيها OH. اوكي هلا الايثر فيها O وهون كاربون تشين وهون كاربون تشين. اوكي مش C double bond O وكربون كربون. this is O كربون كربون. الامين فيها النيتروجين. اوكي الامين فيها النيتروجين. I know this will be a bit confusing, but with practice, I'm sure you will be very good in them. Now let's do practice. Okay, now what I want from you, I want you to identify the letter that fits each of the following. يعني بدكم تختاروا لي من هون الفاميلي. Okay, let's look here. This compound have nitrogen. Try to search for the nitrogen here. طبعا هاي nitrogen is amine. ما حدا يقول لي amide فيها double bond O and nitrogen. So if it has only nitrogen, what do I call it? I call it amine. Okay, now this one having double bond is alkyne. This one single bonds is alkane. This one have C double bond O. اتذكروا اللي فيهم C double bond O هاي 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this one have C double bond O and H. On the same C carrying the double bond O, there is an H, so it is this one. So what do I call it? I call it aldehyde. Okay, let's see this one. This one have C double bond O and carbon from chain from the right, from the left, and carbon chain from the right. كأنه هاي بنسميها R وهاي بنسميها R. Okay, so compare this one to this table. Which one is this? This one is called ketone. طيب let's see this one. This one having O and H, it is alcohol. تذكروا الالكوهول فيه OH. So this is called alcohol. Also this one have OH, so this is called alcohol. This one have nitrogen, so it is called amine. This one have OH, also this is called alcohol. Okay? طيب, now next. Okay, so what I want from you here, I want you to highlight the functional group. Take 2 minutes, pause the video, highlight the functional group, and then compare it to this table and tell me what does each one represent. Okay, here لاحظوا عندي COO، هون عندي C double bond O بس، هدول C and H عاديين. Let's see here. Here I have OH. Here I have C double bond O and nitrogen. Here I have only nitrogen. Okay. يلي عملت لهم highlight بنسميهم functional group. Okay. Now I want you to tell me what are the families. What is the family name? This one have C double bond O and O. Okay. الوحيدين يلي فيهم 2 oxygens, either this one or this one. Okay. So you have to choose this one or this one. If near this O there is an H, I will call it carboxylic acid. بس لاحظوا إنه هون عندنا C double bond O, هون في R, هون في R. Okay, so what is it called? It is called ester. طيب هلا هون عندنا C double bond O, carbon from the right, carbon from the left. اللي فيهم C double bond O high و high. Okay, so which one do we choose? طبعا هاي ketone. ليش اخترنا الكيتون؟ لأنه في R from the left, R from the right. Okay. طيب this one have OH، اللي فيها OH شو بتكون؟ alcohol. This one have C double bond O and nitrogen. C double bond O and nitrogen, what do I call it? Amide. Okay, this one have nitrogen only, so I call it amine. Okay, يلا next. Now we will start with the alkyl halides and aryl halides. This lesson is very easy. Okay, let me just insert a page and tell you what is the difference between the two. Okay, when I say alkyl halides and I say aryl halides, أول شيء let's start with the first word, which is alk. What words do you know start with alk? طبعا we know 3 words start with alk اللي هن alkane أو alkene أو alkyne. طيب what word do we know start with R? R يعني aromatic. Okay. هلا شو يعني alkane? Alkane يعني فيها single bond between C and C. alkene عنا double bond والكاين عنا triple bond. اوكي شو هو الاروماتيك؟ تذكروا الاروماتيك يعني في عندي بنزين رينج هاي. اوكي يلي هو الفورمولا له C6H6. طب شو يعني هالايد؟ هالايد is taken from the word halogen. What are halogens? Halogens هن بالperiodic table. Okay. Let me insert the periodic table and show you the halides. halides هن هدول الجروب group 7 or group 17 اللي هن F و Cl و Br و I. 80 is not used. We call them halogens. Okay, remember F, its name is fluorine. Okay, Cl, its name is chlorine. Br its name is bromine. And I is iodine. Okay, so these are the halogens that will be combined with the alkyl. Okay, إذا halogens قلنا هن F, Cl, Br, I. هلا ال F اسمها fluorine, but here when it comes with the alkane أو alkene أو alkyne بنسميها fluoro. ال Cl طبعا بنسميها chloro, ال Br بنسميها bromo, والI بنسميها iodo. اوكي طب let's do practice on this. شو يعني alkyl halide؟ alkyl يعني واحدة من هدول يا alkane يا alkene يا alkyne plus halogen. Let me give you example. You have مثلا 1 2 3 وعندنا هون Cl أو ممكن تكون 1 2 3 ودبل بوند وعندنا هون Br. اوكي أو ممكن تكون 1 2 triple bond C وعندنا هون مثلا Br. Okay, وعندنا هون مثلا F. Okay, طب now let's continue the H's. This one have one bond, so it needs the 3 H's. This one needs 2 H's. This one already عندها 3, so it needs 1 H. This is CH3. الهالوجينز ما بنحط لهم H's. Okay, ما حدا يقول لي هون لازم تختاري 3. This is not carbon. طيب يلا, now this one. This one also 3. This carbon عندها 1, 2, 3, 4. No need. This one عندها 2 bonds, so this is 2. This one have 2 bonds too. This one have 4 bonds. This one have 4 bonds. Okay. طب if I say for you, how do we name these compounds? نفس الشيء like we were used to do previous. We do parent chain. What is the name of my parent chain? This parent chain have 4 carbons, so it's called butane. في فرع at carbon number 2. Okay, ما حدا يقول لي 1, 2, 3, the branch is at number 3. We said we choose the least possible numbers. 1, 2, my branch is at 2, so I will say 2. هلا, the branch هو Cl. From here, Cl means chloro. So this is called 2-chlorobutane. طب how do I name this? Okay, هلا. 1, 2, 3 carbons means prop. Double bond means in. في branch على carbon number 2. Okay, so I will say 2 bromo propene. Br is bromo. نفس الشيء هون. Okay, what do I have here? Okay, I have here 3 carbons. This is prop. Triple bond means wine. I have a branch at number 1, so I have 1 bromo. And I have branch at number 3. So 3. الأف هي شو بنسميها؟ الأف فلورا. Okay, so this is the way I name it. إذا كان عندي alkane أو alkene أو alkyne plus halogen, I call it alkyl halide. طب شو يعني aryl halide? Aryl halide يعني هذا الرينج مع halogen. Let me give you example. If you have this one, okay, you have Cl and you have Br. How do we name this? Same thing. I will say 1 Cl is chloro. So at 1 I have chloro. At 2 I have bromo. And then this is called benzene. Okay, so these are alkyl halides and aryl halides. Now let's do practice on them. Okay, classify as alkyl or aryl. Okay, take 1 minute and pause the video and answer the question. Okay, this one طبعا have carbons, no benzene ring. اللي في الارايل يعني رح تشوفوا فيها هاي البنزين رينج. اوكي، اللي هي عبارة عن hexagon مع 3 double bonds. So this is aryl halide. This one is also aryl halide. This one is also aryl halide. Aryl halide. And this one is the alkyl halide. هاي ممكن تجيكم naming بالامتحان، انتبهوا. How do we name this compound? Okay, so that you will not get confused. هاي عبارة عن وحدة C only. وعندنا branch F وبرانش Cl وبرانش F وبرانش Cl كلهم على نفس الكاربون. Okay, how do we name it? طبعا الكربون الوحدة we call it methane. هاي البارنت. هلا في branches. The branch are at 1 and at 1 and at 1 and at 1 لأنه أصلا ما عندي غير 1 carbon. Okay, so I will say 1 1 FF means difluoro. Also at 1 and at 1 I have Cl and Cl, so this is dichloro. Okay, أو عادي إذا ما قريت الأرقام because it's already 1 carbon. So I can say difluoro, dichloromethane. I remember last year they had this question in the exam to draw tetrafluoromethane. Do you think this is confusing? How do you draw tetrafluoromethane? When I say tetrafluoromethane, أول شيء الميثane هي عبارة عن 1 carbon. Tetra means 4. Fluoro means F. So I will put F, 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 F. Do I need any hydrogens? طبعا لا. ليش؟ لأنه already the carbon have 4F. So the formula is CF4. هاي ما فيها hydrogens. Okay? طب, let me give you another example you might get in the exam and it might also be confusing for you. If they say for you draw dichloro methane. Okay, أو difluoro أو 1,2-difluoroethane. How do we draw these structures? Okay, يلا نبدأ أول شيء بالparent chain. Methane, meth means one carbon, so I will draw only one carbon. Dichloro, chloro is Cl, so I will have 2 Cl, Cl, Cl. لاحظوا هون ما في داعي نحط number of the branch. ليش؟ لأنه we only have one carbon. طيب هلا dichloro means 2 Cls and methane means 1 carbon. Now if this carbon satisfied, does it have 4 bonds around it? لا. ليش؟ لأنه بس عندها 2 bonds. So what will I do? I will add 1 hydrogen here and 1 hydrogen here. So what is the formula now? C1H2Cl2. Okay? طيب if you have to draw the structure 1,2-difluoroethane, what is F? F is 2 carbons وAN means single bond. So I will draw 2 carbons بيناتهم single bond. Now 1, 2, I have a branch at number 1 and I have a branch at number 2. What are my branches? Difluoro. Fluoro is F and F. Now let me see how many H's do I need. This carbon already have 2 bonds, so it will need 2 H's. This carbon also have 2 bonds, so it will need 2 H's. So if I say for you, what is the formula? The formula will be C2H4F2. Okay, let me give you one practice. Do it by yourselves because you might get similar questions in the exam. If you say you have this compound, trichloromethane, you might have trichlorofluoromethane. Okay, how do you draw this? You might have tetrafluoromethane. لاحظوا إنه بكل هدول الستراكشرز I didn't tell you where is the branch لأنه already we have only one carbon, so no need to tell where is the branch. Now how will you draw this? طبعا meth is one carbon. An means single bonds. Trichloro means I have 3 chloro means Cl. So I will have one carbon عليها 3 Cls. Okay, طبعا هاي الكربون, how many H's does it need to become 4? I will put 1 H. So what is the formula? CHCl3. Now trichlorofluoromethane. نفس الشيء, meth is 1 carbon. Trichloro is 3 Cl, 1, 2, 3. And fluoro means 1F. Type. Does it need H's? No need, because it already have 4 bonds. So what is the formula? Cl3 and F. Now tetrafluoromethane, methane is 1 carbon. Tetra means 4. Fluoro means F. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Does it need H's? لا, لأنه already عندها 4 bonds, so I will say this is CF4. Okay. طيب, let's do more practice. Write the IUPAC name of each compound X, Y, and Z. Okay. طيب, طلعوا هاي. هل هاي فيها halogens؟ طبعا لا. شو فيها؟ بس C و H. So this is an alkyne عادية يلي كنا before we do it. كم كربون؟ 1, 2, 3. This is prop. وبما أنها triple bond أو alkyne, this is propyne. طب let's look at this one. This one طبعا بس فيها C و H. So this is an alkane. طيب, what is the name? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 carbons means bute. All the bonds are single, so this is ane. Okay. طيب, هلا هاي هون عندنا halogen. Okay, so how do we name this compound? أول شيء الparent هي هاي 4 carbons. Okay, so 4 carbons means bute. كل البونds single means ane. في فرع على الكربون number 1. على الكربون number 1. What is my branch? Cl. What do I call Cl? Cl is chloro. لاحظوا إنه هون I have to tell where is my branch لأنه عندي 4 carbons. بينما هون I have only 1 carbon, so no need to say that where is the branch. Okay. طيب. Draw the structures of the following molecules. I want you to pause the video now and do these structures. Okay, 2 chlorobutane. Bute means 4 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. At number 2 ممكن تكون هاي 2 أو هاي 2 as you want. I have chloro Cl. Now how many H's? 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now B. 1,3-difluorohexane. Hex means 6 carbons. Okay, A means single bond. At 1 I have a branch and at 3 I have a branch. What are my branches? Difluoro. Di يعني 2, fluoro يعني F، يعني هاي F وهاي F. يلا نكمل ال H's. 2 2 1 2 2 3. Okay, now at C. 1 trichloroethane. شو يعني F؟ يعني 2 carbons. و An يعني single bonds. 1 1 1 على الأولى I have 3 branches. 1 2 3. What are my branches? trichloro يعني Cl Cl Cl. اوكي يلا هاي محتاجة H's؟ لا already عندها 4. هاي محتاجة 3 H's. اوكي طب لو انا بدي اكتب الفورمولا لهاي بتكون C2H3Cl3. اوكي طيب يلا هلا الأخيرة دي. I have 1 bromo 4 chlorovenzene. طبعا البنزين كيف؟ hexagon وبقلبه 3 double bonds أو دائرة. At 1 I have bromo and at 4 I have chloro. بنعد 1 2 3 4 Cl. اوكي طبعا هدول الثلاثة يعتبروا الكايل وهاي تعتبر ارايل لأنها aromatic. اوكي هلا بدنا نحكي عن البروبرتيز. The boiling points. Okay, this is very easy. إذا أنا قلت لكم مثلا let me show you the periodic table. Okay, إذا أنا قلت لكم مثلا عندنا الكين فيها F CH3F وعندنا CH3Cl وعندنا CH3Br وعندنا CH3I. Okay, مين بيكون عندها highest boiling point؟ As we go down a group البويلينج بوينت بتزيد. يعني اللي فيها I هاي رح تكون عندها الهايست boiling point. بالترتيب وراها حتكون BR بعدين CL وأقل البويلينج بوينت حتكون عند الF. الريزن لأنه الF بس عندها 9 electrons. Okay, let me erase. Okay. وهون عندنا 17 electrons، هون عندنا 35 electrons، هون عندنا 53. مين عندها أكتر electrons؟ طبعا الI بيكون عندها الhighest boiling point. Okay, this is the easiest explanation. As we go down a group, the boiling point will increase. Okay, now consider the following organic compounds and answer the questions. Okay, S, is it alkyl or aryl؟ طبعا this is alkyl halide. Okay, R, sorry. S is this. This is aryl halide. Okay, R يعني هاي اسمها alkyl halide. Okay, هلا how do we name them؟ طبعا هاي اسمها بنزين بنحطها بالآخر. في branches على الأول branch BR 1 2 3. Okay, at 1 I have bromo and at 3 I have chloro. طيب هلا نيجي للكومباوند R. كومباوند R وين البيرنت تشين؟ دائما البيرنت تشين اختاروا longest chain. هاي البيرنت أكتر إشي فيها كربون هاي. اوكي 1 2 3. شو يعني 3؟ يعني بروبين. اوكي في عندي برانش هون في عندي برانش هون. وين موجودين على أي كربون؟ على كربون نمبر 2. At 2 this is 1 2 3. At 2 I have chloro. انتبهوا كمان مرة على 2 عندي ميثايل. Okay. Which compound has a higher boiling point R or V؟ خلينا نشوف شو الهالوجين الموجود. هون موجود الهالوجين كلورين وهون ايودين. مين عنده أكتر إلكترونز؟ Let's see the periodic table. الايودين عنده 53 والكلورين 17. إذا هذا عنده أعلى boiling point. إذا ال V لأنه الايودين has more electrons. Okay. طيب which substance has the highest boiling point? How will we know the highest boiling point? لازم نشوف شو الهالوجين الموجود. هون الهالوجين Br، هون F، هون I، هون Cl، وهون ما في هالوجين. اوكي؟ مين أعلى واحد بالهالوجينز؟ طبعا ال I اللي هي X. طيب now the last thing you need to know why alkyl halides are often used in chemical industries instead of alkanes. If we say alkane يعني مثلا CH3 CH3 هذا الكين شو اسمه؟ اسمه ايثين. طيب إذا قلنا CH2 CH3 حطينا هون Cl، لاحظوا إنه بدلنا واحدة من الاتشز بهالوجين، بطل اسمه الكين صار اسمه الكايل هالايد. اوكي هذا اسمه الكين. If I say for you to name it، طبعا هاي البارنت فيها 2 carbons so this is F، single bond so this is N، عندي branch at number 1 my branch is chloro. اوكي طيب which one is more reactive؟ طبعا هاي دائما وجود الهالوجينز عندهم free electrons so this one is more reactive. فنحن يلي بتعمل reaction بنستخدمها بالصناعة. اوكي so this one is used in industry. طيب دائما وجود الهالوجينز makes them more reactive whatever was the halogen. يعني لو كان Cl ولا F ولا Br ولا I كلهم more reactive عن الالكينز. Okay, why alkyl halides are often used as solvents and cleaning agents? Because they dissolve nonpolar molecules as grease. إذا متذكرين نحن قلنا الالكينز they are insoluble in water. Okay, and they are non-polar. هلا إذا ضفنا لها هالوجين بطلت الكين صارت alkyl halide بتصير soluble in water. Okay, طيب now let's do this practice. Okay, before the practice we want to know what is the meaning of CFC. هلا CFC هي chlorofluorocarbons. Chloro F means fluoro and C means carbons. هدول اللي بنستخدمهم بغازات المكيف أو بصناعة الستيروفوم. أوكي بنستخدمهم بالإير كونديشن غاز أو بنستخدمهم بصناعة الستيروفوم كابس يلي هن الفوم كابس. أوكي فوم كابس. شو يعني كلوروفلوروكاربونز؟ يعني كربون وحواليها بس كلورين وفلورين ما فيهم هيدروجين أبداً. This one have carbon 3 chlorines and 1 F. بما إنه 1 F بنسميه فريون 11 هذا الاسم التجاري. أوكي This one have 2 Fs so بنسميه فريون 12. الفريون 11 والفريون 12 هن الاثنين بنسميهم CFC. ليش بنسميهم CFC؟ لأنهم مصنوعين من كلورو فلورو كربون بس كلورين وفلورين وكربون. اوكي طب are these good for the environment؟ they are harmful. شو يعني harmful؟ يعني they destroy the atmosphere أو they destroy the ozone layer so they are unfriendly. okay unfriendly for the environment. unfriendly for environment. okay why؟ because they destroy the ozone layer. إذا CFCs مش مناح. now they are replaced with HCFC. شو يعني HCFC؟ hydrogen chlorofluorocarbon. okay hydrogen and this one is chlorofluorocarbon. يعني أي compound فيها كربون وفيها كلورين وفلورين وهيدروجين. وجود الهيدروجين this one is harmless. شو يعني harmless؟ harmless يعني does not destroy the environment. okay so this is harmless. لو كانوا كلهم هالوجينز اللي حواليها وما في H بتكون harmful. اوكي لو بدلنا واحدة من الهالوجينز بهيدروجين خلاص this one makes it harmless and it can be used. okay يلا let's do this practice. alkyl halides are used as solvents. why؟ because they are polar and they are water soluble. طيب فريون 12 تذكروا 12 يعني فيه 2F C فيه 2F اوكي شو بيكونوا الثانيين؟ Cl. is used as a refrigerant and environmentally harmless. No, this is wrong. Why? Because it is harmful. Okay, this one is true. طيب نيجي للcompounds. Identify the letter that fits each of the following. What is an aryl halide? تذكروا aryl يعني aromatic, halide يعني halogen. اوكي وارايل يعني فيها بنزين رينج، طبعا واضحة هي الأو. الكايل يعني يا الكين يا الكين يا الكاين مع هالوجين. اوكي this one have OH طبعا لا، this one have OH طبعا لا، this one have OH طبعا لا، this one have C's and chlorine so correct. يلا اوكي which compound can be used as a starting material؟ نحن متفقين انه اللي فيهم هالوجينز فينا نستخدمهم ك starting materials. هون في عندي هالوجين هيو Cl، هون ما في هالوجينز كلهم عبارة عن C و H so this one cannot be used. Okay so compound X لأنه فيها halogen. Okay this is the end of your lesson. Hopefully the video was beneficial and see you in the next lessons. Okay, assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to explain for you the last two lessons in your required KPIs for the term 3 material. And as you can see here, any KPIs numbered 8.2, this means this is lesson 7, and the ones that are labeled 8.3, this is lesson 8. Okay, so here I combine 7 and 8. You know that some KPIs were cancelled. This is only the required KPIs. Initially, we will start by defining an alcohol and classifying it into its types, and then we will name the alcohols. Next, we will start with the ethers and classify it into its types, and we will learn how to name them. And then we will do the amine, and also we will define its types. This is all lesson 7. Now in lesson 8, you need to know 3 things: how to name ketones, how to name aldehydes, and how to name carboxylic acids. Okay, so initially we will start with alcohols. I want you to remember that an alcohol is any compounds that have an OH group. Okay, so any compound having an OH group is called alcohol. تذكروا من هاي OH, so it has OH. OH is called a hydroxyl group. Okay, it could be one C having an OH, it could be 2 C's having an OH, it could be 3 C's having an OH. The C could be in the middle of the chain, it doesn't have to be at the end. Now, how do we name these compounds? First of all, let's put the H's. This C have 1 boson, it needs 3 H's. This one have 3 H's, and here need 2 H's. This one 3, this one 2, this one 2, and this is 3, this is 1, and this is 3. Now, how do I name this compound? We know that 1 carbon is methane. I will remove the E, and I will put all like this, all. Okay, so the name will be methanol. Now 2 carbons is ethane. I will not write the E and I will put all, so it will be ethanol. Now 3 carbons will be prop. Between them single bond, so this is ane. I will remove the E and I will put all, so the name is propanol. And this one is also propanol. Okay, but where is my OH? If my OH is at carbon number 2, so I will say 2-propanol. Alcohol. We have 3 different types of alcohols. We have primary, secondary, and tertiary. Once I say primary, which number comes to our minds? Number 1. Secondary means 2, and tertiary means 3. Now, what is 1 and what is 2 and what is 3? Okay, now we said alcohols are 3 types. We have the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary. Okay, in case of primary alcohol, you will see that the C bonded to the OH is bonded to 1 C only. Okay, now in case of secondary alcohol, the C bonded to the OH is bonded to 2 C's. Now, in case of tertiary alcohol, the C bonded to the OH is bonded into 3 C's. Okay? طب هلا هون you could have more C's, you could have a long chain. Okay, it doesn't matter. المهم إنه الكربون that is bonded to the OH is bonded to 1 C. Now this C, how many H's does it need? It needs 2 H's. This C, okay, also could be 1, 2, 3, so it will be bonded to H. This C will not be bonded to any H. Okay, المهم تشوفوا C اللي عندها ال OH group. Okay, if around it you see 2 carbons, this is secondary, 3 carbons, this is tertiary, and 1 carbon, this is primary. So these are the 3 different types of alcohols. Now I want you to do this practice. Identify the alcohols and determine its type. When I say alcohol, means a compound that should contain OH group. Okay, now is this an alcohol? طبعا لا, because it has nitrogen. Now this one, remember, this one is C and H only. Okay, so this is a hydrocarbon. This is from lesson 1. What do we call it? If it has a triple bond, we call it alkyne. This is the family. Now, if I say for you the name, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. So this is bute. And I will put wine. So the name is butane. Now this one is also hydrocarbon. The family ilo alkane. Okay, name 1, 2, 3. This is prop. And single bonds, so this is ane. Okay, now this one I will speak about it in lesson 8. This one have C double bond O, so this is not alcohol. This one have OH group, so this is alcohol. This one have OH group, so this is alcohol, and also this is alcohol. Now this one is not alcohol. This one have nitrogen, this is not alcohol. Now this one have a double bond, so this is called alkene. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, so this is called butene. Okay, so the ones that are alcohols in Q, R, O, T. Now identify its type. Type means primary or secondary or tertiary. Note here this C carrying the OH has 1 C on the right, 1 C on the left. So R is secondary. This C bonded to the OH is bonded to C only. الH والH مش محسوبين. Okay, we look only at the C, so this is primary. Okay, now this C have C from the left, C from the right, and C from above, so it's connected to 3 C's, so this is tertiary. Now another practice. Draw the structure of ethanol. تذكروا S means how many carbons? S means 2 carbons. Ane means single bond. All means there is an OH group. Okay, now how many H's do I need? 3, 2. If he says for you, what is the molecular formula? Simply count the C's. We have 2 C's. Count the H's. We have 6 H's. And we have O. Now 2-propanol. Prop is 3 carbons. And means single bond. All means OH. Where is the OH? At carbon number 2. So we have 3 carbons. And at carbon number 2, we have OH. Okay, now let's put the H's. This is 3, this is 1, this is 3. So the formula will be C3H. 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1, this is 8, and O. Some people like to do it like this. They say C3H7OH. Okay, both of them are right. Now 2-butanol. But means 4 carbons. Ane means single bonds. All means OH at carbon number 2. Okay, so I will draw 4 carbons. Now you could consider this is number 2 or this is number 2. They are the same. Okay. Type now H is 3. This is 2. This is 1, and this is 3. So the formula is C4H. 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1. This is 9, and this is 1. This is 10, and this is O. Okay, now the opposite. I give you the structure. You have to name 4 carbons. This is bute. Single bonds ane, and there is an alcohol, so I will put all. Now this one انتبهوا فيها branch وفيها alcohol. Okay. Now this is the parent chain. Is prop. Single bonds ane. Alcohol all. Okay, I have a branch. Where is my branch? This is carbon number 1. This is 2. So at 2, I have methyl propanol. Yalla, classify each of the following compounds as primary, secondary, or tertiary alcohol. Pause the video and answer. Okay, now this C carrying the OH have C from here, this side, C from right, C from left, so this is secondary. This C carrying the OH have no C's around it, this is primary, and this one is have 3 C's around it, so this is tertiary. Okay, now we will start with the second group. بعد الالcohols, the ethers. How do I know a structure is an ether? It should have a carbon chain, oxygen in the middle, and carbon chain. Now the carbon chain could be CH3 or CH3. Sometimes you could have 1 C from one side and 2 C's from the other side. Okay, so I will need here 3 H's, here 2 H's, here 3 H's. Okay, you could have 1, 2, 3, and then O, and then 1, 2. Okay, now let's put the H's. This is H3, this is H2, this is H2, H2, H3. Okay, first thing I want you to know that ethers have oxygen in the middle of the chain. Okay, طيب هلا في two types of ethers. إما symmetric ethers, okay, or asymmetric ether. Symmetric or asymmetric. Asymmetric means not symmetric. Okay, how do we know if an ether is symmetric? You simply look through the O. If the right is the same like the left, this means it is symmetric. Okay, look here. Here we have 1 carbon, but here we have 2 carbons. So this is not the same like this. So I say this is asymmetric. This is symmetric. Type. Here look through the oxygen. Here we have 1, 2, 3 carbons. Here we have 2 carbons. 2 is not the same like 3, so this is asymmetric. Okay, so these are the 2 types of ethers. Now, if I say for you, name the ether, we cannot name the ether as 1 carbon, 2 carbons, and say eth لأنه في oxygen in the middle. So I will name this one separate and this one separate. Okay, now what is the name of CH3? CH3 is methyl. And this CH3 is also methyl, and then I will say ether. I can combine these two to say dimethyl ether. Okay, now how do we name this one? This one is also methyl. This one is 2 carbons, so this is ethyl, and then I say ether. Okay, now this one is propyl, and this one 2 carbons is ethyl, and then I say ether. Okay, so remember, ethers have oxygen in the middle of the chain. Okay, طيب هاي طبعا if we look through the oxygen, here we have benzene, here we have benzene, so this is symmetrical. If we look through the oxygen, this is methyl, this is benzene, so this is asymmetrical. طيب I want you to name this compound. يلا pause the video and name it. طبعا 2 carbons here, this is ethyl, and 2 carbons here, this is also ethyl, and then oxygen in the middle, we say ether. Or we can say diethyl ether. Okay, هلا هون we have this one is methyl, this one is propyl, and then I say ether. Okay, now amines have nitrogen. Okay, now let's revise. Alcohols, what do they have? Alcohols have OH group. Okay, ethers, they have oxygen. Now amine, what do amines have? They have nitrogen. ذكروا فيهم حرف الN يعني they contain nitrogen. Okay, similar to the alcohols, amines are 3 types: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay, if the nitrogen is connected to 1 carbon, this is primary. If the nitrogen is connected to 2 carbons, this is secondary. If the nitrogen is connected to 3 carbons, this is tertiary. Okay, طيب. Now we said primary amine, the nitrogen is connected to 1 carbon. In secondary, the nitrogen is connected to 2 carbons. In tertiary, it is connected to 3 carbons. Okay, now this is an amine. This nitrogen is connected to 1 carbon, so this is called primary. Now, this nitrogen is also connected to one carbon, so this is called also primary. Now, how do we name this compound? Okay, sorry. We have two carbons, so I will say ethyl, and then this nitrogen is amine. Okay, sometimes you can say that like this, ethane, and then you remove the E and you say amine. Okay, both are correct. Now this one is propyl amine, and the nitrogen is at carbon number 2, so I will say 2-propyl amine. يلا okay, now this is revision for the previous lessons. Remember, اللي فيها benzene ring مع halogen, what do I call it? High aromatic plus group 17 اللي هن halogens. I call it aryl halide. ممكن يجيكم هذا السؤال بالامتحان. What is this compound called? This is called aryl halide. Okay. Now what is the name? هاي البارة هاي اسمها بنزين. Okay. I have branches. Where are my branches? At 1 I have chloro, and at 3 I have fluoro, and this is benzene. Okay. Now this compound is alkane plus halogen. What do I call it? Alkane plus halogen. تذكروا إنه الهالوجينز هن group 17. Hal, alkyl halide. Okay, now this one is طبعا فيها oxygen بالنص. This is ether. This is methyl and this is ethyl. So they are not the same. I call it asymmetrical ether. Now this one طبعا فيها OH. This is an alcohol. Now the C carrying the OH is connected to C from the right and C from the left, so this alcohol is secondary. Now this one have nitrogen, so this is called amine. Now the nitrogen is connected to one C only, so this is primary amine. Okay, what is the name? We have 3 carbons, so I say propyl amine. Okay, يلا. The functional group present in amine, طبعا amine تذكروا فيه nitrogen, so the functional group is an H2. Which of the following is primary? Primary amine يعني nitrogen is connected to one C only. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Which one represents a primary alcohol? Alcohol لازم يكون فيه OH, وprimary يعني C carrying the OH is connected to one C. Okay, now let's see here. C carrying the OH have 2 C's. C carrying the OH have 1 C, so this is correct. C carrying the OH is connected to 3 C, so this is tertiary. This is secondary and this is primary. Okay, so the answer is Q only. Which of the following have the highest boiling point? تذكروا إنه نحن حكينا إنه as we go down the group in the periodic table, what happens to the boiling point? هدول الهالوجينز. مين عنده أكثر electrons? iodine. So أي compound فيها I will have the highest boiling point لأنه عندها more electrons. Okay, والF بيكون عندها least boiling point. So as you can see here, this compound have F, Br, I, Cl. اللي فيها ال I بيكون عندها ال highest boiling point. Okay. Now we will start with lesson 8. In lesson 8 I wanted you to know what are ketones. تذكروا ketones فيهم oxygen. وين موجود الأكسجين بالنص؟ بدي إياكم تحطوا 2 lines under the oxygen. Okay, what does it mean? عندنا double bond O in the middle of the chain. عندنا C double bond O بنص الكربون chain. C double bond O بنص الchain. C double bond O بنص الchain. Okay, remember O in the middle of the chain. Okay, ethers have oxygen like this. It's not double bond O. Alcohols have OH. Amine have nitrogen. Okay, ketone have oxygen, double bond oxygen بنص الchain. Okay, طيب. Now this compound is a ketone, this compound is a ketone, and this one is also a ketone. All I want you to know about ketones is that, how do we name them? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is bute, Single bonds, this is ane. I will remove the E and I will put on butanone. Okay, now this one. 1, 2, 3. Prop. Single bonds is ane. I will remove the E and I will put O-N-E. So it will be propanone. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is pentane. I will remove the E and I will put on, so it will be pentanone. Okay, only you need to know about ketones is how do we name them. Now aldehydes. Aldehydes بيشبهوا الكيتونز in that they have C double bond O. اوكي بس هون السي دبل بوند او وين تذكروا يعني على الطرف. اوكي يعني على الطرف. بالكيتون الدبل بوند او بنص التشين، يعني عندنا من الرايت كربون ومن الليفت كربون. اوكي هون سي من الليفت كربون ومن الرايت كربون. بالالديهايد we also have C double bond O بس على الطرف، يعني اوكي at the end of the chain. Now how do we name this compound? We say 2 carbons means ethane. Okay, I will remove the E and I will put al. It will be ethanol. Now this one 1 carbon, it will be methanol. Okay, now before we move on, I will insert a page and I want you to draw the following structures. If I say for you propane, if I say for you propene, okay, propine, propanol, propanal, and propanone. اوكي بدي اياكم تميزوا بيناتهم. اوكي او بروبايل ايثر او بروبايل امين. اوكي خلينا نشوف شو الفرق بين كل structure and the other one. All of them start with prop. تذكروا انه prop means 3 carbon atoms. اوكي ane means single bonds. هلا propene prop 3 carbons. ene means one of the bonds is double. هلا propine also 3 carbons. wine means triple bond. هلا propanol نول لازم تذكركم بالكحول. الالكحول شو فيه؟ فيه OH 1 2 3 and there is OH. اوكي propanal بتذكرنا بالديهايد. اوكي الديهايد. اوكي هلا بالالديهايد عندنا على الطرف عندنا سي دبل بوند او. اوكي بعدين عندنا سي. طيب هلا عندنا البروبانون بتذكرنا الكيتون عندنا دبل بوند او وين بنص التشين so I will put 3 carbons وبالنص دبل بوند او. هلا propyl ether 1 2 3 O 1 2 3. You can say dipropyl ether أو propyl ether. اوكي طيب هلا الامين propylamine 1 2 3 ونيتروجين NH2. اوكي طيب هلا خلينا نكمل الاتشز. هون عندنا 3 وهون عندنا 2 وهون عندنا 3. هون عندنا 3 1 2 3 nothing 1 3 2 2 3 2 1 3 2 2 3 2 2 and then 2 2 3 and this one is 3 nothing 3. اوكي طيب انتبهوا انه دائما البريفكس حيعطيني number of carbon atoms والsuffix that is the end of the word حيعطيني which functional group I have. Okay now the last thing you need to know is the carboxylic acids. اوكي الكربوكسيليك acids فيه 2 oxygens. الاكسجين كثير مهم فيه لدرجه انه فيه 2 oxygens C double bond O مع OH. تذكروا C double bond O موجوده بالكيتون او بالالديهايد. OH موجودة بالالكحول. بالكربوكسيليك أسيد هن التنتين موجودين. Okay, so you have 2 carbons, 2 oxygens, sorry. And here you have also 2 oxygens. Now, first of all, how do we name it? We have 2 carbons, so I will say ethane. I will remove the E and I will say ic acid. Okay, ethanoic acid. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is butane. I will remove the E and I will put oic acid. Okay, now when I do the formula, I have 2 C's. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 H's, and I have 2 oxygens. Okay, here I have C4H, 1 plus 2, 3, 5, 8, and then O2. Okay, so this is the last thing you need to know. I want you to do this practice before we finish the lesson. Now I want you to look at these structures and do the family, functional group, molecular formula, and name. When I say family, means I want you to put alcohol, amine, alkane, ether. Okay, طيب, let's look at the first one. The first one have OH. So what is the family? This one have C double bond O in the middle of the chain. This one have O and OH. This one have nitrogen. This one have O بالنص. Okay, لاحظوا هاي وهاي شو الفرق بينهم؟ هون الأكسجين is in the middle of the chain without double bond. هون C double bond O. Okay, يلا نبدأ بالأولى. اللي فيها OH we said it is called alcohol. اوكي اللي فيها C double bond O it is called ketone. تذكروا قلت لكم حطوا خطين تحت ال O double bond O بالنص. Okay, S 2 oxygens, so this is carboxyl acid. اللي فيها nitrogen we call it amine. Okay, اللي فيها oxygen بالنص we call it ether. Now let's do the functional group. Functional group اللي أنا عملت لكم عليهم highlight. يعني هون عندنا OH, هون عندنا C double bond O, هون C double bond O and OH, هون NH2 وهون O. Formula is the easiest. Count. We have C4, H, 4 plus 4 plus 2, this is 10, and this is O. This one is C3, H, 6, O. This one is C2, H4, O2. This is C2H, 7N, and the last one is C4H, 10O. Okay, now how do we name it? يلا 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is called butane. هحط بالآخر all لأنها alcohol. I will put all. This one 3 carbons, so I will say propane. I will remove the E and I will put on propanone. Okay, now S 2 carbons is ethane, and then I will put ic acid. Okay, acid. Now this one is 2 carbons, so this is ethane. I will remove the E and I will put amine. Now this one we said we cannot name 1, 2, 3, 4 لأنه في oxygen بالنص. I will name this one alone, this one alone. So this is ethyl, ethyl, or I can say diethyl ether. اوكي طب اذا قالوا لكم من هدول مين الاثنين isomers لازم يكون عندهم the same molecular formula. بيكون هاي وهاي. These two are called isomers because they have the same molecular formula but different structures. This is the last thing you need to know in this term 3. I hope my videos were beneficial and I will see you in more revision later on.